Hey guys, my name is BiBiAhn. I am a player for FlyQuest Red. I am currently completing in Advanced, ECL, and Impact. And today I'm going to be watching over a demo between Team Archon and Team Regenerate. And both of these teams are competing in the OC Open season of Season 55. And let's see how we can help these teams out. I'm not going to look too much at pistol rounds because, to me personally, they seem very 50-50. And I guess I will look at how we can play this 2v1 better. We have Kit. I think we look to stick here. There's enough time to just tap and try to face this guy together, obviously. So when you have Kit, that's always an option for you. Instead of being a sitting target right here, because you risk just losing the 1v1 and the round's over. Still, I think yellow should just use up all his money. There's no reason. Get a molly and another nade or a flash. That's something small though. Okay. No smoke coming in. Aggressive mid play. See with this flash. Okay, good. Making sure we're picking with the util. Some players also just tend to miss that where they peek before the util or they peek after the util, and it's good that we're waiting here for it. And we're just pushing the issue here. Making sure under is covered, which is good. Okay, now we have full mid control and we decide to keep it. This is also a fine idea. And both sides are playing pretty safe as well. A is retake and B is just jump flooding. So this is perfect round so far. We're gonna keep mid. This is kind of a risky play on its own. As is to say, if you were to just die here, you wouldn't get any trade. But that's just a risk you would know you can take. You would take. Oh, okay. Let's see how. Oh. It's just a bit rough on the micro, getting off the ladder. We're not expecting a person to walk out on this timing. And whenever the round, as an anchor, whenever a round breaks down and Ts have lost a lot of bodies, they have to do something on the other sides of the map, right? If they have wings. And one of the things they can do is obviously just walk out on you, just to try to bring back the round for them. So you kind of just want to be solid and try to keep these gaps covered. And if you're moving too much, and obviously if you do, you're risking just leaving the gate open, and White Tata can just walk out like this. Seems like we're also taking a rough fight here. I'm not swinging very confidently, as you can see. I'm kind of just jiggling in and out, and at this point, Evil and Gypsy should just double swing and be committed to it. Otherwise, just giving this guy like easy 1v1s. Nice. I would look to find the proper molly for ramp here. In one of my previous demos I reviewed, the reason why certain mollies are used is because it pops here, and what that does is, if they have an AWP, obviously they don't have an AWP in this round, but say if they do, they won't be able to go for the boost pick quite easily, as the main bulk of the flame, as you can see here, will be in this corner, and it's harder for them to go for the pick. So okay, we're looking to B-pop with the Tech 9s here. I think we've seemed to have overbought quite a bit. This, to me, is a force buy, and at this point you should just buy down all the way. So Alright. Molly's coming in. What's this cat? I mean, I don't mind the fight here, but I think it's a bit too much for what you can handle. Obviously, with the Tech-9s, you're trying to get in their face and overwhelm them with bodies and movement, right? Because they have the superior guns, right? So I'd probably do this more towards market and with your teammates, just to make the most of your weapons. I just want to see what happened on B, how this go was. Okay, so Risen, the one thing you always want to be aware of, especially when you're a B anchor, is the buy that the T's have and how you're going to play differently against Tech-9s as compared to gun rounds. Because obviously with the Tech-9s, you can get overpowered way more faster with numbers. So I want to see how he slows us down. This Molly really doesn't do anything. Most people obviously are jumping out window or from balcony towards the site. So the Van Molly doesn't really do anything. It just seems like a moment of panic here. And I would look to make much more space between you and the pistols. So I would drop a Molly maybe like around this Van pillar area or under window and fall all the way back to like Scar or Empty or whatever you call it. Just so, yeah, it's a hard fight for you at like this range. See from the short player's perspective. Also, from the short player's perspective, he relies on his window player to tell him what is happening out mid. So if there's nothing out mid, then it's unlikely it's gonna be, well, someone running up mid, obviously, so you have to focus your attention to B. I would have already, as soon as my window player says there's nothing out mid, then I have to redirect my attention to the sides. Obvious things they can do on a pistol round like this is pop B or like pop Palace. Right? If not right up mid, or they're doing an undercrawl. We missed the nade there. See, if you were like 3 seconds earlier, you could have gotten these nades down in the window before they would have even been out. So, alright, we're getting our one, we're falling back. Right. And yeah, there's a lot of notes on that round. Goodbye. Getting out mid early, we're smoked off. I can go fast cat, fast valley. And nicking the smoke and making sure they don't cross. A bit rough on the micro here. Let's take a look at it again. I think we're moving quite a lot, and also our crosshair, it seemed to be okay initially, but because we're moving, the crosshair is moving back towards the wall here, and if we're against a wide swing like this, we want our crosshair like where he is. So making sure, I think the one thing that you can practice is to like help this is just going into like an aimbot and keeping your crosshair on like a target, and then practicing strafing and counter strafing, and keeping your crosshair like on the target, right? So then when you strafe and counter strafe, your crosshair doesn't move, if that makes any sense. And so yeah, we don't hit the first bullet and we just get owned. We get traded at least, which is good. Okay. Just making sure we're aware of this. You probably know, reloading and running away. It's easy sound indicators for the T's to just like run up the smoke on you, or like crouch up on the ledge. Blocked. I'm making a proactive play here. It's a 4v3, but I don't hate this. Oh, we're gonna fade it. Alright, it looks like we've made a decision to, as a tease, which I like a lot. There's been a lot of teams where especially you can see in pugs where like people will take mid and then just kind of sit there and linger and not really know what to do. But the fact that the T's have gone back and reset to A, they know a plan, right? And Carrot Nuke's also playing pretty passive. I would probably even play more passive than this, just because like connector player can come out and kill you easily, or they can peek window. I would play in like Cubby in under. That's like kind of micro. Oh, this is not an angle. You don't want to open yourself up to so many questions where can they go ramp and can they go con. You kind of want to play in a position where it answers both. And since you're worried about A ramp and con, that just seems to me you can make the decision to play somewhere like jungle where you can spot con and then leave a main to be open, but still have the info for when they come out and cross. And obviously green can hear footsteps as well if they do go ramp. But that positioning was just poor. Okay, we have the cross here. It's no trade yet. It's a bit rough. I think green should just come back and play closer to evil, just so he can get the trade. And we're all playing on like our own timers, which is rough. And oh, it close out the 1v3. Tap, we don't know who this guy is. There's unlucky. We don't have kid either. Plus B split, how we react to this. 8-2, which is good. Honestly, not bad spots. I think the positioning they took was, especially Risen here, to defend the B split was great. You can look at how the only thing that could have gone better for the T's is probably the pathing together. We're not aware. I think that for purple, he's worried about a lot of spots like on bench and backside. If you just scale yourself along the wall, you only really need to worry about, obviously when you come up back, but you only need to worry about cat, get right? And that is because you're scaling on this wall only. If you're kind of in the middle, you expose yourself to like midi angles. And just being more aware of the enemies, obviously, and it seemed a bit delayed here for the trade, so rough. Should have never died. But the CTs did a great defense there. Okay, anti-eco again. We got a hero AK out for the T's. Save. It's an anti-eco, so the only thing I would say is that, let's see if he closes this out actually. No. Okay, the only thing I would say is if you have a hero AK, you can play it one of two ways. Is you can play it like the donk way where you kind of just bait all your teammates and try to go for the trades, or you can go for the opening picks. And I tend to like to do the opening picks more and trying to start the round how you'd like, and in order to find an opening pick. The donk thing kind of only works if, obviously, you're donk. You're a strong rifler and you know exactly how, like, you have a good understanding of where CT positioning can be. And it's not just one CT positioning, it's knowing potential setups, just so you know where to place your crosshair. Again, I feel like we're playing positions where we're getting easily overwhelmed by the pistols. And we've seen this twice so far. And it's just a result of not knowing the buy and not knowing the strength of your weapon against like the pistols. So I think if I were them, I would, you know, look at, just understand the concept of just having, you know, your gun is meant for long range engagements. The pistols struggle against the long range engagements, so therefore you should be playing more further back, but also looking at demos and seeing how teams deal with pistols, because I think in CS2 as well, pistols have more of a chance to do way more damage than they should be, and you have to respect them, especially if you're playing against better teams are going to have better players and better shooters, and the pistols can still do a lot of damage if you don't respect them and play properly against them. And they actually, in fact, win this round, so... And it all just came from not being solid against the first timing, right? Oh, no blow by. Again, pistols, there's more power in numbers, so I think unless you all have deagles and the plan is just to go for your one, I would try to do something more together, like classic mid pop, 2 con, 2 cat, or like just all con and just flood out. I think a lot of teams just also just do like A stacks, gambling sites with the pistols, so. Alright, full buy round. And we're doing a solo play in CT. On the CT side, we're doing a solo play up mid, which is kind of rough. We are doing great flashes for him at least, so he does survive a little bit. But the placement, the crossover placement is just a bit rough. He's also blind, so you can see he's aiming at the feet. He has to micro adjust. The T's just keep swinging because they're blind, and it's just a rough tracing for him. All right, we lose another pick on towards Cat. And this is risky as well. We've already lost our teammate in mid. We've missed the timing to trade him. And at that point, you're just kind of swinging off Cat. Not swinging, but you're prodding off Cat alone with no trade. So that's just a mistake on his part. As soon as you lose your teammate, you can look to claw it back, but just know the odds are very against you because you have no support, you have no trades, and the T's, those are the kind of picks that they're exactly looking for. It's a lot harder for T's to deal with flash peaks instead, or nuke peaks, or double peaks, But when it's just one guy swinging off like that, it's a dream scenario for them. Let's smack up Alice. Yeah. I like this. We're trying to push into ramp, get some ground back because we're down in numbers. It's not quite the off angle I was looking for, but it's a very good off angle to be on the stairs. I would be around here on the wall a bit, if you can see my mouse. But good pick. And from the T's, the spacing is very bad here. What yellow should be saying to Diane right now is to be spacing, you're alone. And what Diane is supposed to do is to acknowledge that and be like, okay, I'll slow down, or I'll slow down, I'll wait for you. Just so you can secure trades, right? Because if you die like this, no trade, then CTs can reset and just do whatever they want after that. Looking to go for a B pop here. We're alone, we clear mid, there's nothing, clear sights. We kill the one, just holding top mid. What we should know, we shouldn't linger too much because we know that the guy's just holding TV and we don't see anything else mid, around the stairs. If the T's were actually playing for mid, there would be more numbers. So what this tells me is that there's one guy just holding outside TV, he's probably just holding for the pushes and he's probably alone. And now we need to play for a site. I think 3's overstayed their welcome. Now it's a B pop. Just a lot of body shots and it's rough. And I think this is the same thing. This is the same thing we saw in Cat, where he's strafing, but he's not stopping and shooting. So his bullets are just kind of going everywhere, and he's not aiming at head height either. So It's just he needs to practice more of his like strafing, counter strafing, and making sure he stops and shoots, you know. So retake. At this point, I would just save. It is very unlikely you're going to win this round. It's 2v5, and it's a problem that I see the most in lower elos is that people don't go for saves often, like at all. Especially in man disadvantages where it's very, very, very unlikely for them to win the round. And there's like other factors that contribute to that. It doesn't happen in this round specifically, but like it could be your health bar that influences it. It could be whether you have a kit or not that influences it. It's also whether you have, if you don't have a joker spot, I would call it. It's like a spot where you can guarantee huge impact on the round. And those spots could be like if you trigger disciplined in apps while they're coming out or something like that. You get my point. Yeah, there was none of that, and we kind of just went for it. I will say it is halftime, but so they kind of had to go for it. But I'm just saying in general as well. Just a lot of teams don't go for saves, especially early round. I think pre-6 rounds on the CT side half, I would almost always go for a save just so you can kind of secure your economy for the rest of the half. Pistol round. We have a great gamble stack on A. It's a great call. Yeah, should be clean up here. Yeah. Now we're against the pistols. This is good. Fighting together mid. I mean, yeah. Alright, full buy round now. I mean, you could see the idea that they were going for. They're going for a double peek, but the nades are kind of rough. You've naded your own teammate. So I could see the idea working, but I don't think nading your teammate is the best way to go about it. Yeah. You could have, I think to make that play better maybe, is to have your con player do the nade, and he could do the nade where it lands outside the window, so like exactly like this, but it lands like outside the window, and then you could already have 1-2 teammates here. So there's 3 people in window essentially. But yeah, that's how you can make the play work, but also just not sabotage yourself in the end. Alright. 2v1. Okay, so not much to say about that, they knew. I would just be careful here. It's a very nitpicky thing, but I would be careful. If you throw a shallow nade, they can always peek behind it, and if you're doing a lazy jump spot like this, where your head is fully like this, it's just an easy shot. Not only for an AWP, but a rifle can easily hit the shot, especially at the higher levels. Yeah, this is very poor jump spotting. I would jump spot like on the spot here, or you would jump spot in a way where you can still see apps, but your head is shown minimally. Because you're kind of just, it's like a whack-a-mole right now. Okay. I think the nade, just not being too sure about. I think the smoke came out very slow. It should be instant as soon as you see them. You should drop the nade down. And T's have just taken 1 by 1 peeks here, and it's just rough. Exactly like this. But I think it's more from right to left. Either way, it's like better than the round before. I want to see how they play this. 2v1. Okay. I mean, I think looking back, if I were to summarize, for both teams it could be true where positioning was big. Positioning was big in this demo where we want to choose the position where we achieve our goal, but also answer most of the questions that we have. We don't want to be open to anything we're not like covering solidly. For that example, that guy on stairs and he's open to a ramp, but he wants to hold con. You can kind of feel it as a player when you know you're in a position where this feels like, and if it feels like that, then obviously something has to change, right? And you have to make that conscious decision to move. And if you stay there, you're gonna die anyways, right? So like the solution I gave, he wants to hold con, he wants to hold ramp. It's perfectly fine to give up ramp and let them come out. You had a teammate in Palace, you could hear the footsteps come out. So playing jungle, holding con, there's your answer. Also pathing and trading, making sure people are closer together. And if people aren't closer together, it is the responsibility of the person behind to be like, hey, slow down. You're alone, and the person in front has to oblige, right? So being closer together, making sure trades are great. I did see a lot of good initiative plays from both teams. Not being scared to do it, but then when the round breaks down, just being confident to continue the plan or like make up a new plan. Like a lot of these rounds just kind of are just plans that are built one on top of another, and it doesn't just have to be a plan at the start and then that's it. Like you guys have no plan in the mid round and stuff like that. Yeah, the round are made up of very big plans and then small plans, even if it's just picking together, you know, clear top mid together, clear under together, you know. I did see a lot of that, but I would like to see more plans in the mid round and just being confident with it. The other things are just some like micros, just being good on your strafing and crosshair placement, making sure you're not moving while you're shooting, and you can combat that with like the counter strafes and also the jump spotting on B. So yeah, I think this was it wasn't as messy as I thought, so it was a very fun demo to watch.